On June 12, 2024, I went to the Wiener Zentralfriedhof to visit the grave of György Ligeti for the anniversary of his death in 2006. I have always been fascinated by his work, especially his piano studies, which requires great pianistic technique to be played. Among the 80 studies spread over 3 books, one of our favorites is Vertige. In this piece, Ligeti overlaps chromatic scales which creates the illusion of falling in a spiral. Based on this idea, I decided to compose a piece using my good friend Opus Modus. And that's what this video will be about. To begin, I would like to explain a few things. Unlike Ligeti, I'm using the octatonic scale that alternates whole and half steps, which is one of the modes of limited transposition compiled by Olivier Messiaen and published in his book The Technique of My Musical Language. So it's a scale that I really like for its sound and its atmosphere, and that's why I wanted to use it. So the main idea of this piece is based on a loop. At each measures, a note from the scale is added and is played from the beginning. The measure then becomes larger and larger. That's not all. At the same time a note is added, the rhythm and dynamic change with it. For example, it means that we begin with this, so with a simple whole note, with pianissimo, and we finish with this.
That's quite big.
This is for the right hand part. For the left hand, I was inspired by the polyrhythmic approach of Ligeti in Vertige. So the left hand will play a sequence of chords which evolves during the piece, and being out of phase with the right hand. Now that I've explained the main ideas of this piece, I will go into more details by explaining the code. So I'm gonna now explain the code. So this is Desintegration for solo piano. This is the name of the piece. So first we have some basic parameters, just the size, the bar, the pose, etc. That's very basic, and it's that right here. It's definition of PMAT 1A. So it's the pitch material that we're gonna use, and we use the function make scale, which has 25 pitch. Starting from C4 and alt. So this is the definition of the octatonic scales, and here we just use the pitch invert function for the pitch material 1 to have the second pitch material. So, and here this is very interesting. That is the loop I was talking about earlier. It is not Opus Modus, it's basically Lisp. So we define generate subsequences with the Lisp parameters. It adds the pitch one after the other to make the big sequence of notes I was talking about. And now we have the pitch 1A. So we use the generate sequences function that we made here with the pitch material that we defined earlier. And it's the same here with pitch invert. There is always pitch 1A and pitch 1B, so it's 2 different pitch materials that I'm using. And after that we have the len1 variable here, and we use the function gen tuplets to generate the complex rhythm. Yes, so we devise the pitch 1A variable with the max length function, which there's also the max length function here. That's telling the numbers of elements in the subsequence of P1. After that we have the P1A and P1B, so we basically assembling the different parameters, so the pitch, the length, and the velocity. We are doing this with the make function here, and we are doing the same with the P1B. So here, this is not like an algorithm, it is just the start of the piece. So I'm using the manual implementation to implement the force code and some other things. The start of the piece for me. So this is not very interesting. This is just some. This is just the code and also. And here this is interesting because we have the piano AH1 for right hand one and piano LH for left hand, and we use the assemsec function with the start coda gilia. So you will see what this is, and the P1B to make the first few measures of my piece. And here this is interesting because I'm using another function. So I want to measure cognitive and add and random sample with these parameters here, and decide to have the same result here. So to add some intervals for the right hand. You will see in the piece, but this is not just the scale displaying, it's the scale and some intervals that I've added with this variable. And we do the same for the piano left hand. So here it's interesting because I'm using the pitch dynamic function to separate the interval and the scale itself for the right hand. And I'm applying the quantization function, quantization here with the quantize function. And I'm doing the same for the left hand. And after that, I'm using the merge voice function to assemble the two voices, so the intervals and the scale itself for the right hand. And it's interesting because I'm generating, I'm also quantizing the left hand. I'm also generating the codes for the left hand, the complex code, you know, with pitch sport, flatten, pitch mix, and quantize. So after that, we apply dynamics with the variable dynamic with maclist, Desintegration and length piano. So it will go, like I said, to this to this. It's very loud. And I'm applying the final piano RH, so piano right hand for the final, and the piano LH for, and we apply the dynamic with the dynamic variable that we did right here. And we are almost finished. So here this is not an algorithm, this is, like I said, the end is just a little edit with the dictum function that is very useful because I had a little problem because the first two measures are not affected by the dynamic variable that I've made, and I'm editing this with dictum to make here a crescendo just for the first few measures. So now that you understand the code better, I think it's time to show you the piece. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. You can find my piece on SoundCloud. I will put a link in the description as usual. and my next video will be a big project, so if you don't see me for a while, it's normal. See you for the next one.